What is up, my beautiful people? My name is G-Vans and welcome back to my channel. And don't mind new background. This is not going to be permanent. It's just for today, since lately haven't really been at home to even like try and make these videos. But with that being said, it is time to review the new James Vickery album, Songs That Made Me Feel. This is the highly anticipated debut album by London underdog James Vickery. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me as I talk about this album in a very exciting tone, because we are witnessing the rise of a fucking legend, in my opinion. James Vickery has been hiding in the very deep parts of London as he pretty much creates these like really great EPs and singles that he's been dropping since 2016, sometimes back to back, and for the most part a lot of them are very impressive. He really is, in my opinion, putting R&B on the map in the UK music scene, which in my opinion I can't really think of anybody else that has been doing that in the UK. I know that for the most part the UK has more of that rap grime scene, and then it had a bit of like that rock and roll scene, and obviously a lot of pop as well, from a lot of very past artists. So personally I think it's a really great refreshing start to see someone like James Vickery bring a genre as beautiful as R&B into the UK music industry scene. Now, if you all remember last year, I actually reviewed the Overture album, I believe is how you pronounce it. It was the latest EP that James dropped last year. It was the first time that I got into him. It was requested to me by the homie Dev. Shout out to you, Dev. And I didn't know what to expect. Was a new artist. I get excited to hear new artists, but sometimes I get a bit scared that they might disappoint me. And honestly, I love that entire project. It was a little bit of an appetizer for what's to come next for James Vickery career. I especially love the one song where Kenny Beats was doing a production value on it. As weird as Kenny Beats is with his production and everything, I didn't think it was gonna work out, but it oddly worked out super fucking well in this particular song. So yeah, I personally am still glad that I heard Overture last year, because it was one of the best R&B projects that I've heard in a minute. And although I did really enjoy that project, I still am a big believer in what I said last year, that I think I still would like to hear a full-length album, which is going to come out really soon, in order for me to determine whether or not James Vickery's music is worth it. If it's worth keeping an eye on, if it's worth just if it's worth getting excited for. And personally, after hearing this new project a few weeks ago, I gotta say that this is living proof that James Vickery is a fucking force to be reckoned with. As you can tell from the title of the album and the album cover as well, there's a tear coming down James Vickery's eye. Get ready for this album to pull your fucking heartstrings, because James will make you feel a shit ton of emotions throughout this whole project. In just 33 minutes, that's how long the album is. In just 33 minutes, James creates 10 passionate melodies, 10 songs full of passion and emotions. He pretty much brings his own experiences and creates some beautiful, just raw R&B sounds. You hear it right away in the opening track, Rather Be. That song starts really slow, and then it gets a bit more, I wouldn't say hype, but it gets a lot more angelic, as James comes through with that beautiful chorus, talking about if the person he really loves would truly rather be happy with someone else, or rather risk getting their heart broken by someone a lot more worse than to try and work it out with them. Pretty much when I hear this first track, it lets me know that it's gonna be some very relatable shit, in my opinion. James Vickery pretty much takes the entire spotlight throughout this project as he tells his own stories to create a lot of relatable sounds and just relatable stories in general, talking about all of his experiences with lost love, not feeling good enough and stuff like that, and pretty much feeling lost after you fall apart from someone that you really loved at some point. It's pretty much one of those albums that makes you feel like sadness, anger, but towards the end of the project you like kind of feel at peace with yourself, especially with the final track, Save You. James Vickery pretty much has finally realized that you can't really save everybody, although you would really want to, especially those that even now you feel are very worth saving. It's at some point you gotta realize that there's just certain things that you can't do or control, and like that's sort of like the peace that he finally has at the end, where he realizes like it's out of my control, I tried my best, and I can move forward. It definitely does take you like through every cycle of like a breakup. You feel anger, you feel sadness, and then you start feeling loneliness, and then you start to pick yourself up, because there's always gonna be time moments in your life where you're gonna like fall apart, but it doesn't mean that you're gonna just not be put back together. So I actually really love like how this whole album plays out like that. And one more song that I gotta talk about before I get to the features on the project, I gotta say that All That I Am, easily the best song on the entire album. That one definitely like gave me fucking goosebumps. Like I replayed that song twice, like that whole chorus that James made in that song, like talking about all that I am, all that I was, all that I'll ever be is lost without you. It's nothing without you. You really like feel his pain, and you can like feel his emotions, and it's like it's so fucking beautiful. It sounds the way his voice like is edited in the chorus, it like low-key sounds like some shit that Boyz II Men would make back in the day. Like it's so fucking amazing how this song turned out. I don't know if this was ever a single. I'm pretty sure that I've heard this as a single before, but I don't really remember. But honestly, it's still like, it's probably like one of my like top 10 like favorite songs that have come out so far this year. Like it is such an amazing fucking song, and I definitely like would recommend you all to hear that song at least, because I promise you it'll definitely make you want to hear the rest of the album, because like that song in particular just like had me just like, okay, like this is a fucking perfect album in my opinion. Now as for the features, there are 3 songs on here that have a feature on it. However, I want to talk about 2 of them, because these 2 songs in particular show me one thing, is that not only does James work well with other artists, but and he honestly sounds really fucking good next to them, but it definitely shows the recognition that James is getting, and will hopefully be the start of everybody knowing who James Vickery is, and him like finally blowing up. Because like honestly, not only will these features like allow him to do that, but I think this whole album is gonna allow him to finally blow up the way he wants to. For example, the track Come to Me has a feature with Music Soul Child. I believe that's what his name is. He is a big fucking legend in the R&B game. He has created many songs that we all know and love, and honestly this song with James Vickery and Music Soul Child, I personally think that this is like everything that like every like old school R&B fan has been wanting. Like that classic like feel good R&B music, like kind of makes you want to dance and whatnot. It kind of gives you the vibes where like you're at a fucking roller skate and like you're skating around to this song, and everything like feels okay in the moment. Like that's like the kind of vibe I get when I hear this song. And I think James and Music Soul Child like work so well together, and I am honestly so glad that he was able to make the song with him, because like I feel like for somebody like James Vickery, who obviously has a lot of inspiration from like not only old school R&B, but like maybe a little bit of early 2000s R&B, I think for him this feature is a dream come true to him. And then there's the oddly satisfying track You Comfort Me with Dreamville's Earth Gang, of all people. I was not expecting Earth Gang to be on this project. For those of you that are big Dreamville fans, Earth Gang is the rap duo, and they pretty much are known for making a lot of weird shit. If you ever heard Mirrorland, that particular project is just as weird as it fucking gets. And if you ever heard Royalty by Earth Gang, that is also another weird like sort of project by them. You know, like it starts off with someone getting fucking abducted by aliens. I think like that's just how weird Earth Gang is. And to be honest, I didn't know if I was going to like this song or not, because like I felt that Earth Gang and James Vickery are like two completely different artists that probably like shouldn't be on a song together. But at the same time, that's how I felt when I saw that Kenny Beats produced a song for James Vickery, and I was like, how is that gonna work out? And you know, it oddly like worked out so well. And it's the same thing with this one. You know, it is the most weirdest song on here. You know, Earth Gang has like this like weird ass verse, and you know they like do this like high pitched voice, and you know it's just as funny as it gets. But to be honest, the reason why I really do love this song is because like it's one of like the rare moments on the album where James is sort of like not taking himself too seriously, like sort of having fun with it, you know, like letting his like humor get out there. You know, it's definitely like another one of those like feel good R&B songs, only it has like that perfect combination of rap and R&B that unfortunately not that many like modern artists are able to do well, unfortunately. I think what I really love about James Vickery's music in general is that how very like old-fashioned and just how much it reminds me of the real R&B that we don't really get much of anymore. You know, sure, I love modern R&B as much as the next person. You know, there are many great modern R&B artists that, you know, in my opinion are like keeping the genre alive and are one of the main reasons why like R&B has been dropping a lot of good music this year. You know, like they've been like winning in my eyes than rap, in my opinion. But you know, I feel like a lot of us really missed that like real like raw R&B feeling where like you know, like you can like just feel someone's emotions and just like really like feel that they put their heart and soul into this. And that's what James Vickery does. You know, like I said a while back, you know, he definitely has a lot of inspiration, like a lot of obvious inspiration from like past like R&B legends, and you know, like some like early 2000s R&B legends as well. You know, he definitely has that vibe, but he gives it like a modern twist to where, you know, not only is it a tribute to those who are very big R&B fans in the past, but you know, it's something that modern R&B fans can truly enjoy and appreciate, which, you know, I can't think of anybody that wouldn't appreciate a project like this, because it is honestly like as real as you can get. You know, it is just a beautiful project overall. Honestly, if I had one complaint on the album, it'd be that, you know, for it being his official full-length album, you know, his highly anticipated full-length album, it still feels a bit short. You know, 10 tracks, you know, it's only about a 33-minute listen, but at the same time, like, it doesn't really like bother me as much. You know, sure, would I love more? Of course I do, but I'm not going to like I'm not gonna let that, you know, determine if I'm like not gonna like this project or not, because personally I enjoyed every second of this album. You know, every song on here is perfect and amazing. You know, like they all have a lot of relatable stories. You know, they all have a bunch of like great like lessons and just topics and whatnot. You know, like I just love the overall like, you know, like objective of this whole project. You know, I think it definitely like achieved what it was supposed to achieve, and James Vickery worked very hard. And you know, if anything, if this album was like, you know, a bit short, then I just can't wait to see what else James Vickery is going to do next, because I have no doubt that after this project, everybody is gonna love James Vickery, and I really do hope that he does get the success that he deserves, because, you know, since 2016, I can like definitely like hear some very like great and obvious improvement from his like 2016 projects to how this project turned out. You know, I definitely am really excited to see what this guy does next. So what else can I say about James Vickery? Well, he's obviously very talented, and he obviously has his own unique style that proves that he stands out from a lot of R&B artists. He even stands out from fucking Ed Sheeran and Slow Tie. You know, Ed Sheeran, you know, who like does like a lot of like different genres here and there sometimes, and Slow Tie, who is just like the weirdest like UK rapper I've heard in a fucking minute. Like, I think James Vickery stands out from both of them. You know, he definitely is a force to be reckoned with in the R&B game, and yes, I do think his music is worth it, and I do think his music is worth keeping an eye out for, because we can only go up from here. And personally, if you're a new James Vickery fan, I highly recommend that this album is a really great start to you wanting to hear more of his discography. So until we hear more from his discography, we at least have this project and a few other singles and EPs that he's dropped so far that we can like just hold on to until we get the projects that are going to be fucking amazing from this man. So until then, I'm gonna give this project a 10 out of 10. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed my review. What did you guys think about this album? Did you love it? Did you hate it? What are your favorite tracks? What are your least favorite tracks? Please let me know in the comment section down below. I would love to hear your opinions about it. Crazy thing, y'all, I've actually never talked about this on YouTube before, but when I did that review for James Vickery's album last year for Orbiter, he actually saw it and he put my video on his story on Instagram, which was a very proud moment for me, honestly. Like I was really happy when I saw that. So hey, here's to hopefully James Vickery watches this video and he puts me on his story again. I would fucking appreciate that a lot. And with that being said, don't forget to like, subscribe, click that button below, all that good stuff, and don't forget to stay happy.
It's like I'm living a dream, that's how to reach. I've been cooking like Walter and Jesse Pink. It's exhausting trying to be a prodigy. Past deep.